How many snakes is too many? Well, when it's nights like this, it's too many already, because I can't have them all out. It's just an absolute impossibility. I want to start by saying hello to you and welcome to my night tonight, which it's nights like this, guys, that I really wish I had 100 hands, well, at least 10 arms maybe, I don't know. But as you can see, I have Mr. Jack out, who wanted out, which is absolutely fantastic. It's always great when Jack comes to his door and is doing his merry dance and letting me know that he wants to come out. And like I said, 8 arms would be fantastic, because I've also, and sorry about the lights here, Jessie has been out and been up on the enclosure and up to the hangout spot and back down again and done some cruising, but as you can see, he wants back out again. Miss Lily, of course, is in shed. That is why she's not wanting out. I have little Miss Maya down here, who is also desperately wanting to come out, and so there's 2, 4, and with Jack, and that light's right in that, 6 arms. And really, if I spin these lights around, Missy Moo over here has only just stopped mooching at her door. Otherwise, yes, she was wanting to come out. So that leads me to the discussion. How many snakes is too many? Well, when it's nights like this, it's too many already, because I can't have them all out. It's just an absolute impossibility. So I give one an hour, and now Jack's having his hour, and then I'll get Tessa out, who doesn't need an hour, but I'm sure she would really like to have that hour. But maybe 15-20 minutes will satisfy her. Lacey isn't at her window, so that's a good thing tonight. And of course, Apani is actually yet to get to that particular stage, but one day she will be the same. So, talking about how many snakes are too many. If I could have 100 and manage 100, I probably would, but whoa, I feel guilty enough that, and I don't know if you can see Miss Maya right now, but that is, I want to come out too, and I could get Maya out and have her around my shoulders while Jack is pretty much just cruising on there, but he won't necessarily stay on there, and he'll want to be down on the floor or heading over to the hangout spot himself. So Jack is certainly getting bigger, and I can still put him around my shoulders and make my cup of tea, which I actually just did with Jack, which it's actually been a while since I've done that with him. So he was his usual curious self, and they remember he knows the kitchen quite well, and where he would try and go and into the sink and check everything out, don't you, bud? Hey? Isn't that what you do? because you're very curious. But you know, in saying that, you know, how many snakes is too many? Well, financially, you really have to think about that as well. You know, I don't know what the price of your feeders are in other countries. They're relatively expensive here, I believe. And looking up prices, say for example in the US, I do notice a major difference in pricing. So it's not cheap. I mean, if I do a stock up of rats for my guys, it's easy for me to spend a good couple of $100 on rats and mice, especially the mice for Lily. My cost has gone up a little bit, but you know, that is the way it is. And when you, of course, take on snakes, that is something that you have to equate into the ongoing and continuing care of them, the cost associated to feed them, the cost associated to take them for their checkup at the vets, the substrate. Okay, yes, you can use newspaper, that's great. You know, extra electricity running their heating, especially over winter. You know, all those little bits and pieces add up, and the more you have, the bigger your cost is. So, you know, right now 7 is great. I am looking at getting a rough scale, so that will make 8. And guys, unless something majorly comes along, as in a rescue or a snake desperately needing a home, I'm sticking with 8 is going to be my cutoff. That's got nothing to do with not wanting more, but I have to think about my time. There's that cost, but time. You know, I love to spend a lot of time with my guys, and you know, I can't do that if I were to continue to have more and more. And that's why, as a hobbyist, it's much easier for us to have a relationship with our snake and to build that wonderful relationship and bond and everything that a breeder can't do. And so that's why I don't want any more either. You know, I devote a lot of time to these guys individually with that one-on-one, and it's almost, you know, I'm not saying, you know, you can have 12 kids, but you certainly can't put in the time with them than if you had 6 kids. So I feel a little bit the same way about my snakes. Who's going to lose out? Who's not going to get my attention? And that would be totally unfair. Whoa, I thought that was going to tip, Jack, but it wasn't. It's just on a bit of a lean bud, and you're getting a heavy chap, aren't you? My goodness, did you see me jump then? And of course, Jess is going, how come I'm not out, Mum? You know, this is when I feel completely mean that he's not out. And I may very well get him out very shortly and put him back up there while Jack is cruising over here. Maya is, yeah, she would love to come out too. Maya has actually been out a few times today with me because she's so easy to get out, put around my shoulders, go and put the washing on, etc. Not so easy these days with you though, is it? But look at that tongue going. Look at that big tongue going. Yes. Great big tongue. You're blurring the camera. You're so close. Aren't you? You look all washed out under those lights. But does Mum give you enough attention? Hey? I hope I do. You know, I never want to lose the ability to have this amount of time with each of them. You know, some days it's all day, and as you know, not necessarily me physically holding them. You know, they have the freedom to come and go in this room and move around, but I'm still there, and I'm still watching them and talking to them and making sure that they're okay, but it is still time with them. So each of them get, you know, a really good amount of time out of their actual enclosure, and that is what is important to me, as much as me having that one-on-one time with them, allowing them to stretch and exercise and explore and allow their curiosity to be satisfied. You know, they've got to have that ongoing stimuli as well. So I don't know what Jack is doing down there, checking something out by the looks of him. But yeah, how many snakes is too many when they're all at the door? Certainly 7's too many, but that's okay, isn't it, Jack? You're happy because you're the one actually out tonight, aren't you? Hey? Are you the one out tonight? You are, aren't you? Okay, everybody. That's it. That's a wrap tonight. And thank you, Jack, for letting me video you tonight, Bud, who's been a bit of a snob, as Jack is, and likes to be in his home. So guys, take care. Till my next video, I'll say ciao. And don't forget to like and subscribe and check in with me. Leave a comment. Let me know. How many snakes do you think are too many snakes? Or do you think more the merrier? It is a little bit more the merrier, to be perfectly honest.